crank it around here, mate. Over here is Nick Shepherd guitar. Hello. And next to him, Vincent White guitar.
Hello.
On the other side of me is Pete Howard, drummer. And we found these guys through putting in an advertisement in a music paper. Now, we see the Clash as we have a mission. You know, we have to bring rebel rock to the same, to be bigger than music that has no meaning, such as, say, heavy metal or make-up music from England. You know, we see that rock and roll is the only medium that young people are looking at, or listening to, or tuned into. So how can it just be abandoned to meaningless things? It's too much, you know. And we could not do this work with Mick Jones because he didn't want to go to Oslo on a rainy Thursday night.
And he was content already with the situation, like with the success of combat rock, whereas me and Joe decided that it was only the beginning and we've hardly started.
But what's most important to you, to be rebels or to be rock musicians?
No, I don't like music at all. You know, music isn't the point.
Well, you once said that you're not musicians.
Yeah.
You mean that?
Yeah, well, I can play all 6 strings or none.
And I play 4.
Well, how is it possible to be considered one of the world's greatest rock bands when you're
yes,
not rock musicians?
Because music, that's a good point. I agree with him, by the way. It's a good point because music is not the point. See, what matters is how much spirit you put into it, how much intelligence you put into it. Does it have any meaning? You know, will it communicate to other people? When you really communicate to other people, that's when they say that you're the greatest rock and roll band in the world. Because all we're doing really is trying to communicate something. Sometimes we don't know what it is, sometimes we do. But all we're trying to do is communicate something. And it's nothing to do with A minor 7th chord.
And what you try to communicate, that's revolution, that's standing up for...
No. All we try to communicate is, number 1, you've been brainwashed since the day you were born. Number 2, you've got to do a lot of work to even do any of your own thinking. And we're trying to communicate that destiny is within our hands. Independence of any other outside agency is what counts. You know, to any young group, I'd say that independence. Like, we're touring now. All right, we've been halfway around the world already with this crew here, and we haven't got any record. And in a music business style, you never go outside the front door of your house unless you're trying to sell a record or something, a film or something. And we haven't got a record. So we're doing this because, firstly, we want to become one unit and make a great record, better than any other. And secondly, we're doing it because we're showing the people who put out our records that if they want to stand around scratching their heads wondering what's going on, we can't wait for that. You know, we're just going to go and do our work. I find my mind has to be free for Clash. I cannot take on board all these other things. I don't even listen to the Police or the Rolling Stones or any of these Pat Boone people.
Hippies.
Yeah, or any of this a lot of modern music is hippie music, you know? And I don't mind it, as long as they admit it.
You feel like you're the only honest band, somehow?
But no, I think there's thousands and thousands of them, but are they being given the chance to come forward? This is what I wonder. Now, this is why I plead with Americans to stop buying Rolling Stones tickets, because every time they buy a Rolling Stones ticket, they support the super stadium scene, and that means another band out in the boondocks.
But also, like, the rock and roll scene is sort of dying in terms of live concerts, because there's now the video situation where a lot of groups are getting promotion on video, and so for us it's still like playing live.
And what do you think about all this video stuff?
I think it's another sham. You know, another excuse to sell. You see, the danger is that no one can write songs anymore. No band makes any effort or any intelligence in what they do, and they're being protected by overproduction in the studio, glossy overproduction, which makes you don't realise there's no song there. And secondly, now video fits neatly into place. We see it as like another music business thing. I think a video could be and should be well used. I mean, 3 minutes of visuals, its possibilities are endless. But instead, I think it's turned out to be more just another line in the illusion business, where to try and make you think that it's a great record or a great artist or a great singer, when really I don't find myself rushing out to buy a new record, going, oh, I must have that, I must have that record. I miss this feeling.